Hello, my name is Dr. Amy Roberts, and I am the Director of the Family Nurse Practitioner and all APRN programs here at University of Texas at Tyler. We want to welcome you because you guys are the class that just are coming in. We graduate right at 100 nurse practitioners a year. We have over 350 applicants for those 100 slots. So we wanted to let you know that we chose you and we're glad you chose us and that you're here. The University of Texas at Tyler has got an excellent program, and I'm going to orient you a little bit about that. And I'm going to talk. Somebody's got their mic not muted, and you can mute your mic on the lower left-hand corner, okay? Amanda Miller, you need to turn on your camera, please. The purpose of this orientation is threefold. One, I'm going to answer your questions. Two, you're going to introduce each other and to where you get to build community in your clinical, and this is your clinical cohort. And so you're build community. You know who lives where, what they practice, and you're going to help each other find those precious valued preceptors. So we're going to spend the majority of the time doing that, and then I'm going to answer any questions that you have. I want to just let you know that here at the University of Texas at Tyler, we have consistently scored by the U.S. News and World Report in the top 15 in the nation for online graduate education. Last year, we were #1 in Texas, number 13 in the nation. That's amazing when you realize your entire program cost, books, apps, tuition, fees, is $20,000 for the whole kit and caboodle, for the whole program. That's phenomenal because anybody else that's higher than us is up to 5 times that cost. So you are getting a good value and a solid program, and we welcome you here. And I'm a family nurse practitioner. I'll tell you about myself. I've been a nurse for 33 years, a nurse educator for 22 years. I've practiced nursing around the world, lived in Africa for 6 years, practiced nursing for at least a month in 17 countries, and did a lot of travel. And a lot of that was in East Africa. I'm fluent in Swahili, and I fell in love with the African people. But I find myself in Tyler, Texas. And so I've studied and published a lot on tropical medicine. I'm a graduate of the Walter Reed Tropical Medicine Program. I also am a graduate of UT Arlington, where I got my master's. I got my second master's at Southwestern Seminary and my PhD from University of North Texas. So basically, I've had all Texas schools. My baccalaureate was at Dallas Baptist College. In my career, I've done everything in family practice. I like family practice, and that's what I am, because it has the variety. Otherwise, I find myself rapidly bored. If I have to talk about diabetes all day, it bores me. If, I can only do so many PAPs and pelvics in a day because it bores me. But in family practice, you never know what you're going to get in the next patient. And that's the fun of it all. And in the middle of all your days of trying to deal with very, very ill elderly, you get a little kid that pops in that just needs his immunizations, and it changes it up. I have a blast with the kids. So we've got an excellent faculty here. Some of them were my former students. And, you've been around for a while when that's the case, but I am glad that we've got our faculty that we do. All of our faculty are practicing nurse practitioners. All of us are in family practice in one way or the other, and some have more emphasis in women's health, and you will go into their practices when you're in the women's health course for your checkoffs. Some of them are more geriatric, and you'll do that when you're doing your PC3. And then some are adult, where I've got basically adults. Some are peds, and so you'll have different faculty practices. go to these faculty practices for your checkoffs. And also, we use our faculty practice as a safety net should something happen to you on your planned clinical schedule. Now, on this clinical schedule, we realize that you guys are just as busy as we are. So, if Brandon has gone ahead and planned clinical days, and then Brandon's preceptor calls in sick, Brandon doesn't have another day of the week to pick up that clinical, so he will drop in on one of us in faculty practice because we're in clinic every day except Monday. There's one of us in clinic, and we're just find out where you live, and you're just dropping on one of us. We're your safety net because Brandon doesn't have another day to make up that clinical. Well, we advise you all to plan for 10% more than every course. We do that just simply because things will happen, like your preceptor will have to call in sick, or perhaps one of your children will get violently ill, and you're not able to go to clinic that day. So we give you a little bit of pad by having you plan those clinical hours.
Smart.
Before I go on any further, I've been here at UT Tyler this is my 5th year, start of my 5th year, and you've met your other faculty, and we've all done a little orientation to our courses that is going to be on your MSN Possible site. I've also done on that MSN Possible Clinical Canvas site everything you need to find a preceptor and tips and suggestions on how to do so. So I'm going to open this up, and we're going to go through, and we're all going to introduce ourselves. I need you to say what type of nurse you are, your name, and where you live, okay? All right, Monica Target. There you are. Okay, Amanda Miller, you need to turn on your camera. Emma Pruitt, turn on your camera. And Ryan, can you steady your phone, okay? So we don't get the camera shake. This is just our behavior that we do on all of our Zooms. I'm going to record this, and it prevents people from getting too much camera shake. Okay? So my goal is that also Chris Ledbetter, you need to go ahead and turn on your webcam. So I'm going to let you do that, and we're going to start up. If you do the speaker view, I've got Jessica Brown in the top left-hand corner. Let us know where you live also, Jessica. And Jessica, the floor is yours.
Hi, everyone. Like she said, my name is Jessica Brown. I live in Nacogdoches, Texas. I work in the ICU, and I have been an RN for 8 years. I wanted to share a little bit with you. I got my bachelor's through the UT Tyler online. I initially got my nursing degree from Angelina in Lufkin, and then went back online and had such a good experience at UT Tyler for my BSN that I decided to apply for the nurse practitioner program there as well.
Okay. There's a lot of former students that are in the Nacogdoches area, and also down in the Beaumont area too. So, all right, Jenny Spinks.
Hi, my name is Jenny Spinks. I live in Dallas, Texas. I have been a nurse for about 1.5 years now, and I have some experience in PACU, and then currently I'm a cardiac rehab RN. And prior to that, I did 8 years in education. So I was a teacher, high school teacher for 8 years, and to healthcare.
Well, bless you. Anybody that can do high school teaching, my hat's off to you.
And thanks.
Kelly Slate.
Hi, I'm Kelly Slate. I live in Palestine, Texas. I have been a nurse for about 14 years now. I'm currently working as a circulator in a standalone surgery center, but I have worked as a pediatric nurse, labor and delivery for 6 years at a rheumatology clinic. So I actually started as an LVN and did the transition to an RN, and then did the transition through UT Tyler to a BSN. So I took a really long path to get here.
Okay. Kelly, we've got some of our graduates that work in the prisons in Palestine. And so you need to tap into them for your preceptors. Okay? I keep hitting preceptors just because that's the hardest part. We're trying to teach you to sell yourself. So I'm going to, if I know of somebody in that neck of the woods that you're at, I'm going to tell you during this. Honestly, we can't create these preceptors for you, but I can give you the tips I know. Okay? Juliana, what is your last name? You're muted. You're muted, Juliana. Bottom left-hand corner. There you go, Juliana. We need your last name, please.
Yes, ma'am. I've been trying. Where do I type it in? I can't get to type it in.
Okay. Just tell us at this point, but it is in where it says your lower left-hand corner. You can do it, but or you can go out and come back in. But for right now, just tell us your name and where you live, please.
Okay. My name is Juliana Ekpenyong. I live in Longview, Texas. I'm currently an RN working in labor and delivery. I've been a nurse for almost 15 to 18 years now. And I was a midwife in Nigeria. I'm originally from Nigeria, but migrated down to the United States. I got my BSN through online Grand Canyon University. That was last year. And so far, so good. That's been great.
Did you have Ellie Ryan at Grand Canyon U as one of your instructors?
No, ma.
Okay. All right. Well, it's nice to have a midwife amongst us. And we've got several of our graduates in the Longview area, and they're working at the hospital there. And we've got them everywhere from an internist in the hospital that does a lot of internal medicine. And then I don't know of a lot of them in women's health, but we've got a lot of our grads there. I ask all of our graduates to take our students as a priority. And it will take 10 nurse practitioners to train you. And so when you get to your internship, which is the class I teach, I make you take a pledge that you're going to train 10.
Okay, thank you very much.
That's what everybody's got to do. Okay. All right. Jordan, January.
Okay, hey everybody. My name's Jordan January. I am a former UT graduate. I've been a nurse for 3 years. I've worked in the ICU, and I currently work in labor and delivery at ETMC. That's about it.
Okay, where do you live?
I live in Tyler.
In Tyler. Okay, so we've got, if you guys are taking notes, which you should be, we've got 3 that are in labor and delivery. 1, 2, I take it back. 1, 2 that are in labor and delivery. They will be people you'd really want to tap when you're looking for your women's health nurse practitioner. Okay? You see how this works yet? It's going to be this group that's in this session that's going to double your success in graduate school. Because the thing about graduate school is you're going to learn as much from your peers as you are from your faculty. And that's because this is an online program. So you guys need to be taking notes and getting to know this group. because it's going to save you. Okay? Number 6 is Kelsey Haley.
Hello, I'm Kelsey Haley. I just got married in March, so it's still weird for me to say the last name Haley. I actually live in Paris, Texas, so I'm a good couple of hours away from Tyler. I have worked in several different places. I just recently went back to the cardiac cath lab. I'm actually a circulator in there. I did a 1.5 years in ICU, and then my first year as a nurse, I did step down. I'm working on my 5th year as an RN. So, anyways, that's it.
Okay. In Paris, we've got one of our grads, Tony Garcia. You need to write the name down. I'm making you guys' life easy. So, Brandon, Brandon, write these down.
I'm right. I got it.
Okay. All right. Tony Garcia. He can get you through family practice. You can knock 200 out of 600 hours out with that man. Okay? So, boom, you got 1 out of 4 NPs there. You need to introduce yourself and make it soon. Go to his office. Okay. April. April.
Yes, ma'am.
Alberto.
Hey, everybody. My name's April. I go by Nicole, actually. So I have been an RN for almost 3 years now. I just recently got my BSN. My mom's a nurse practitioner, so she's I'm kind of working toward, what she does. I'm a home health nurse. I've been doing that for, about 3 years. I was an LVN before I became an RN, and I was an x-ray tech before that. So I've been in the medical field for a long time, just in different aspects. I live around the Beaumont area, so and have a lot of nurse practitioner friends too. So
Okay. So just having your mom be an NP, that is awesome. And so we've got Jessica Brown. She's going to be tapping into you. Okay? Because,
anytime.
okay, because Jessica is in Nacogdoches, not all that far. All right? Did you know you always wanted to be an NP?
Yes and no. Like I said, I was an x-ray tech first. I absolutely loved it. But in the area, the market's very, saturated. So I needed to make kind of a career change, but I love the medical field. I love emergency room. And I love when my mom was a nurse practitioner, she opened her own clinic and I worked for her. Now she teaches and she was working in the sleep lab and stuff like that. So I've seen a lot of what she does up close and firsthand. And after seeing what she does and how she helps people and the way she helped people, that kind of just drove me to, okay, I've got to get through this LVN, get to my RN and get this nurse practitioner. So.
Okay. My mom was a nurse too.
Oh, okay. Yeah, my grandma was an RN, but my mom took it one step further. So,
Okay. Sarah Tadez, y'all please correct me. I don't know your name. So, how do you say Tadez?
Yes, Tadez.
Tadez. Okay, Sarah Tadez.
Hi, everyone. I'm Sarah Tadez. I live in Dallas, Texas. I've been a nurse for almost 3 years. I also graduated from UT Tyler with my BSN. I work in pediatric cardiology right now. I did a year of adults before I decided to go with pediatrics.
Well, pediatric and women's health are the 2 hardest clinicals to get. So Jenny Spinks is also in Dallas. So she's going to be hitting you up for peds help, okay? Because Sarah and Jenny can share the same preceptor in peds because you only need 120 hours. One will take her the first part of the semester, one will take her the bottom part of the semester. And if you can get a pediatric preceptor, you don't stick with just 1 day a week saying, I'll do the clinicals 1 day a week or 2 days a week. If they say you need 120 hours. So if they say, I can do you for a month. You say fine, you drop everything and you do it because you only need 3 weeks full time and boom, your hours are done. Okay? But I need to have you guys be adult learners that are going to be proactive, and you need to then correlate with your faculty and say things like, I found my preceptor, but she wants me to do 40 hours a week. So in these 3 weeks, I need to negotiate ahead of time. I can't do some of these assignments because I'm going to be doing all my hours in these 3 weeks. And guess what? Your faculty are going to be responsive to a proactive adult learner and say, I'll tell you what, we'll make a deal. Okay? And then you got to stick to that deal. Does that work for y'all? That's how we function here because we're committed to student success. All right? So you're going to find it's easier on women's health and it's easier on pediatrics or family practice to group up all your hours in 3 weeks and get it done. And that's doable. Okay? So I want to help you guys to think of different ways to get things done because we think outside the box here at UT Tyler, but we have to make sure certain things are done. All right? Would it be appropriate to do all those hours, not to communicate with your faculty and expect an extension? No. You wouldn't do that to your boss, so you wouldn't do that to your faculty. Okay? You can treat your faculty like you would your boss. Okay? And you would text your faculty or call them if something critical happens, just like you would your boss. But it would be inappropriate to text or call them to say, what's the assignment due next week? That's like asking them, your boss, what's my schedule and when do I need to be there? Okay? You all are adult learners, you're all nurses, and we don't expect that behavior. We're going to teach you how to think, and we're going to increase your critical thinking gradually as you go through. So I know right now you would be able to figure out where things are, you know, how to look for things, but you're not able to always know where they're at, okay? And so if you don't know where they're at, you can quickly go back to your Mission Possible site. If it's a clinical question, that's where you can go to your Mission Possible site, and you will look under Clinical Information FNP. And that's where you got all your documents there, okay? But, and print your syllabi off and keep a copy of it because it helps you, because 90% of your questions you need to answer in your head are in that syllabi, okay? But Sarah and Jenny are going to be partners in helping each other get clinical hours. So if one gets a precept in an area, they're calling each other. And then second, Jenny and Sarah might end up being study buddies. Because if you have a study group, your chances of retaining your material have gone up 25% just by having a study group. And that's simply because you have to present to your study group. It helps you to learn material when you got to present it. Okay? All right, Brandon. Brandon Van Diemen? Is that how you say it?
It's pronounced Brandon Van Diemen.
Van Diemen.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon, everyone. Like she said, my name is Brandon Van Diemen. I'm coming up for 2.5 years. I live in Tyler, Texas. I worked for 2 years at Christus Tree Mother Francis on the vascular cardiac observation floor, and I recently started a job for UT Health Northeast at the North Tyler Clinic as an outpatient.
Okay. All right. So we've got a couple of Tyler folks already. Okay, Mr. M. Brandon, I don't know your first name.
Hello, my name is Michael Brandon. I live in Mount Pleasant, Texas. I work in the ER. I graduated with my associates from Northeast Texas Community College. I went back and got my bachelor's from Texas Tech. I also work in Longview. So I know Juliana is from Longview. So I've been a nurse for 5 going on 6 years, and I work in the ER. May have already said that. And I got off this morning about 7 o'clock, so I just woke up.
Okay, well, kudos to you for pushing it through. You know, there's a lot of people will go ahead and choose to do some extra hours in the ER to get their suturing done and get down suturing and procedures. So Michael would be your person that could probably sit you up with some preceptors if you're in the Longview, Tyler area. And anything within an hour of Longview, we call Longview, okay? Okay, Kelly Alvera?
Yes, that's correct. Hi, my name is Kelly Alvera. I live in a very small town called Saltillo, Texas. It's about 15 miles east of Sulphur Springs, not too far from Mount Pleasant. And I have been a nurse for 10 years, all in the med-surg field in the Mother Frances system. This last year, I have actually taken off, and just so I can be a mom to my kids and focus on school.
Okay, I want you to notice that Kelly has no bags under her eyes. Isn't that nice? Okay, don't expect to keep it, Kelly, but right now you look very rested. But congrats on being able to do that. And being 10 years in Trinity Mother Frances, you're going to be able to tap some of those physicians to be able to do extra hours with them, especially in the TMF clinics.
Yes.
Okay. Sandra Kirkpatrick.
Hi. I live in the Tyler area. I have been a nurse for 25 years, so I beat you all in age-wise. I have always been in ICU. I've done from trauma to burn. I'm currently working at East Texas Medical Center in the CV ICU. I've always been in the medical profession one way or the other. Started out as an EKG tech. I won't even date myself to tell you how far back that was. And I also got my BSN from UT Tyler 25 years ago.
Okay. You know, Sandra, one of the best things is if you are out of school less than 2 years, you need Sandra as a study buddy. And here's why. She's going to know what's the important thing that you always need to study. And you're going to help Sandra if she has any kind of technology issues. And Sandra might know all the technology, but I find if I get somebody that's been out of school less than 2 years with a very experienced nurse like Sandra, they both do better. So Sandra doesn't get frustrated with the technology, and the younger nurse realizes what's the important thing out of 350 pages that you need to focus on. And Sandra can spot it without even looking because she knows what's going to be the most critical things for a decision. And you only learn that through experience. So you need to tap into Sandra for that experience. Okay?
Always open for a study buddy.
Well, you know what? I find that some of the old nurses, they're absolutely fun. I find young ones fun, but the old ones are fun because I can say jokes and they get them.
True.
Well, some of them, they just look at me like they don't know any of my correlation points. And I'm like, okay, now you just dated myself. So I like somebody that will get my jokes at least. Okay. Monica. Okay. You're muted, Monica. When I tap my ear, that means nobody can hear you.
Okay, I got it. Sorry. My name is Monica Carolyn, and I'm about 3 years experience as a nurse. I graduated from the second degree program at Texas Tech, and most of my experience is in the ICU.
Where do you live?
Oh, I live in Lubbock.
Okay. Okay. All right. So who you want to tap into, Monica, is Dr. Marcy Lusk in Sweetwater.
Okay.
All right. She's
Got it.
Saturday.
Okay.
And I know Lubbock to Sweetwater is about a 2-hour, I think.
Right.
I used to live in Abilene. And
Okay.
all right. So here's the deal. There's a place there, and this is one of the things with a lot of the rural hospitals and smaller hospitals that Dr. Lusk has set up, just like a lot of these rural hospitals, a room that you can sleep in. Patients are not notorious rich. And so where you'll be able, Emma Pruitt, we need you to sit down, please. There you go.
Yeah.
So one of the things you can do is stay there and stack your days, because they've got a room for you to stay in. And if you're having trouble finding clinicals, you can go to, it's called AHEC, AHEC.org, and that's rural hospitals in every area. Again, that is A as in apple, H as in horse, E as in egg, C as in cat, .org, and you're being okay. Emma Pruitt, yours is mute your mic. So you can go with AHEC into these rural hospitals, and they will give you a free place to stay. Why? Because they're looking for you to be able to, they want to try you before they buy you, and they want you to let them, let them be seen. So what they do is they put you often on one of those empty units, and you're in a hospital room, but go do a 12-hour day, crash at night, get up, do a 12-hour day, crash at night, and stack that to where you get all your hours in rather quickly, and then you're able to stay at that hospital, okay? And then, because on most courses, you only need 120 hours. On one course, you need 145. That's 3 weeks full-time, folks. So you could go and do your 3 weeks full-time, knock your hours out, and just negotiate how you have to change assignments. That's an easy fix, right? You just have to negotiate with the instructor on how you need to change assignments if you've got this intense 3 weeks where you're going to knock them out and be done, okay? Then, once you knock them out and you realize what a great preceptor that is, y'all are going to create a Facebook page for this group, okay? And you're going to go to Mission Possible, and you're going to say, this is a great site for peds. And you're going to talk to each other, and you're going to have to say, this is where I found my peds. If you guys create a Facebook page, I'll need somebody to go ahead and be the head person to create that Facebook page, and then invite everyone to join. And I'm going to give you time at the end of this orientation to get that job done, because you're going to be able to, Sarah's going to say, I found the best preceptor for peds. And you know what? If people can stack it and they can find a cheap place to stay, boom, they're going to do it. Okay? All right. So you need to, Monica, Dr. Lust, down in Sweetwater.
Okay.
Because she's going to take you first, but there's a long line of Texas Tech students, and she's a Texas Tech grad, that are going to be number 2. So you got to get in there and get her done, okay?
Okay, got it. Thank you.
All right. Amanda Neal.
Hello. I live in Texarkana, Texas. I'm currently a clinical informaticist. I have worked in the ICU and telemetry units. And I got my BSN and my MSN from Texas A&M University, and I have also worked as an adjunct professor for Texas A&M University.
So you're doing a postgrad?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And that thing on Texarkana, you have to get your preceptors in Texas, on the Texas side. But we've had a lot of students from Texarkana, so we've got them on the Texas side of Texarkana. And we've had 6 students from there. Unfortunately, out of that 6 students, I know of 2 that have moved out of state. But we've got our grads there, so go and start looking on Facebook, in addition to the clinical preceptor list, and put in their UT Tyler graduate nurse practitioner and pop up their names and find out where they're at. Okay, Amanda?
I know one of them.
Okay, who do you know?
Tia Burns.
Okay.
Yeah.
Miss Tia. She is just fun. All right. Well, you would enjoy her. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to start right now when you need Tia, and you're going to ask Tia for her recommendations for pediatrics and women's health. And then you're going to ask Tia, when is the next nurse practitioner meeting? I would like to be there with you. And you go to every nurse practitioner meeting and take Tia, and if Tia can't, you take her out to dinner, or just go and bring her lunch when you know her, since you know her, bring her lunch, and during her lunch at work, pick her brain, okay? All right?
Okay.
All right? Your stress will go down real quick if you get all 4 preceptors you need, because you're allowed 200 hours with the preceptor. That's in family practice. So get them all 4 done, and then your stress is significantly down. Okay? I want to give you guys a tip. You can take PC 1, 2, or 3 in any order. So if Amanda finds a women's health nurse practitioner but doesn't find a pediatric nurse practitioner, can she take women's health first? Sure. We do that because sometimes it works out for your preceptor to take the women's health first. The next semester, she can find a pediatric, then she can take pediatric. But on degree plans, we have to put it in some order. The only caveat is that pediatrics is not offered in the spring. Okay? So I just want to give you that heads up. All the other courses are offered all 3 semesters, but peds are only offered in the summer and in the fall, not in the spring. So, Amanda, see how you can arrange your preceptors that way and cut your stress down? But you've got to find family practice. So ask Tia which one of those are family practice and who her friends are in family practice. If you're not getting a call back from Tia, you know, like you're talking to Tia, she's going to be your helpful person. You're going to show up with her favorite meals on numerous occasions as she helps you arrange this. And she might call one of her NP friends for you. All right? She does that, Tia. When it comes to pinning, Amanda, when it comes to pinning, Tia needs to be the one that pins you. She got you through the program. Okay? You honor her because she helped you out. And Tia will do that. She's just that type of person. All right? She might make a call for you in women's health. And once you get a call like that, that's the person that's going to pin you. Okay? It's just a nice way to show respect. Okay? Now let's go to Melissa Mejia. Is that how you say it? Mejia?
Yes, Mejia. Hello, everyone. My name's Melissa Mejia. I've been a nurse for 5 years. I started at Angelina College. I live in Conroe, Texas. And then I did the transition program at SFA. My background, I currently work in a women's service.
Can you turn up your mic a little? It's really hard to hear you.
Can you hear me?
That's better.
Okay.
But next time, turn your mic up and test your mic before you come into Zoom.
Okay.
All right. So you live in Conroe, Texas. You've been a nurse for 5 years.
And my background is med-surg and women's services.
Do you have any preceptors lined up?
I currently work for UTMB, and they're not allowed to do preceptors, they say, unless you go to UTMB.
Okay, I'm going to tell you the reality of Conroe. Houston and Austin and Dallas are the hardest places to get a preceptor. So in Conroe, where you're going to find a lot of preceptors if you go up to Huntsville.
Okay.
Okay? And if you're looking for women's health, do women's health in the prison system. You want to look for women's health nurse practitioner in the prison system. And then I've had more students in the Conroe area have problems. So if you can get in the prison system and do that, then go ahead and do it. The other thing is you need to start looking for practitioners in Conroe that are not affiliated with a hospital, that have their own private clinics. Because most of the time, the problem is when you are in Conroe or in Houston, they will only precept for Houston schools, period. And the reason for that is there's a lot of online for-profit schools that have saturated that market. So you need to look for individual private offices for family practice.
Okay.
Melissa, you've got to do that now. And you need to put on your resume, are you Spanish speaking?
Yes, ma'am.
You need to put on there, I'm Spanish speaking. And what you can do is volunteer on a family practice site to translate for a few days so they get to know you. And just say, I want you to know me, and I want to know if this is going to be a good practice site for me, and especially on family practice, and translate for a few days and let them know you. That's what it's going to take for you to get preceptors in Conroe and Houston. It's going to take a few days of a working interview for somebody to bite. Then, once they do, and they know Melissa, and they know that this is somebody that's got a heart for the Spanish speaking and helps us out and is really an asset, they're going to start calling a women's health and a pediatric practice for you. Okay? So you only need one women's health preceptor, one pediatric preceptor. Everything's 120 hours, guys. And then you're going to need one internal medicine or geriatrics, and all the rest are family. So like you have 200 hours of family, but you can do that, Melissa, with one preceptor. 200 hours of family. That's your hard one. Find a family independent practice and ask if you can translate for them on a few of their busiest days. And tell them, I'm looking for a clinical site, but I want to see if you're a good fit for me, and I'm volunteering my translation services so you get to know me and you can see if I'm a good fit for you.
Okay.
I guarantee no UTMB or University of Houston student is doing that. That's what makes you different. And also, Melissa, you're going to make $5,000 more on your first, for the rest of your life than anybody else in this class that doesn't speak Spanish, medical Spanish. You're going to be one of the higher paying persons, okay? And that's how much medical Spanish is worth, $5,000 a year. And what I call that is a car. You can get a car for that, just for Hablo Español. So we have 2 medical Spanish courses. And you can take those 2 medical Spanish courses and get 9 hours of Spanish. If you go on a trip to Costa Rica, you'll get 9 hours of Spanish, and that's called a minor in Spanish, guys. That is the one thing that I would add to this program because it pays. Bottom line, free cars the rest of your life, hablo español. Okay? All right, Amber Denson.
I'm Amber Denson. I live in Tyler. I have been a nurse for...
You need to speak up or turn up your mic.
Is this better?
There you go.
I'm Amber Denson. I live in Tyler. I have been an RN for 6 years this year. I was an LVN before. I think it was Kelly Slate. I also went LVN to ADN to BSN. I work at Mother Francis in the float pool and mostly med surg, but recently have cross-trained to pediatrics and the NICU for special care nursery.
Okay, so you might be able to find a pediatric person. I want to tell you though, Amber, because you're in the Tyler, we have a clinic that does STDs, a lot of STDs, and it is called Special Health Resources. And that's where you can go ahead and do your 120 hours of women's health. Knock it out. Okay, there's also a clinic in Jacksonville, and it's called Family Center in Jacksonville. And you can knock out your women's health there because they're taking all the old Planned Parenthood. And you, Amber, you want to go with Elaine Ballard. Ask for Dr. Elaine Ballard. She's one of our faculty and excellent NP. And I forgot to mention that for the other Tyler students, for women's health, plan to do full-time with Elaine Ballard, and you will learn more than with anybody else. We also, here in Tyler, we have Dr. Brenda Matsky, M-A-T-S-K-E, that's at Special Health Resources. But go right away and get them for women's health. Look at your degree plan. And remember, if you get her available for a different semester, you can take women's health before peds. That's a possibility. Just remember that caveat that peds, PC1, which is peds, is not offered in the spring. And if you change your degree plan, you must correlate with Christina Chapman. And what she will do is help you not mess up your degree plan and delay graduation. That's what she'll do. She'll tell you if you do that, it's going to delay graduation 1 semester or 2 semesters. She can tell you that kind of stuff, okay, if you change your degree plan. But if you need to, because that's when you get your preceptors, do it, okay? Because you're adult learners. You can figure that out. But just get advice along the way. And that advice would be talk to Christina before you change your degree plan when it comes to your clinicals. Okay. All right. Okay, Madeline Goeldi. I'm butchering that name. Say it again, Madeline.
It's Getty, like spaghetti.
Okay.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Dr. Roberts. Madeline Getty. I live in Austin. I currently, for the last 2 years, have worked in behavioral health. I do admissions with Austin's most psychotic and violent patients. Prior to that, I was a nationally certified critical care nurse in San Antonio in the ICU for 5 years.
Okay.
And that's the extent of my nursing history.
All right. We just had a brand new graduate, but by the time you get there, she will be ready to precept.
Oh, okay.
Here, just give me a minute.
Is her name Brianna Walrafen?
Yes, thank you. Brianna Walrafen. I was trying to think of her name. All right.
Brianna
Walrafen, W-A-L-A-F-E-N.
Okay.
Thank you, William.
She's in Austin?
William, are you in Austin too?
I am in Austin.
Oh.
She's in Buda right now.
Okay.
All right. Well, you two will be buds, but Brianna, you can go ahead. She is one smart cookie. And so you go ahead and set up with her, because I'm going to tell you guys, Austin is one of the toughest markets ever. Okay? Houston is number 2, Dallas is number 3. And so you need to ask Brianna.
Okay.
And get with Brianna to go to your NP meetings. Same thing as what I said before. Take her favorite meals, find out her favorite restaurant, her favorite meals, and go and pick her brain. Then you guys pair up and do some clinical time with her. Because she knows his struggle, and while it's fresh on her mind, she will try her best to help you out.
Okay.
But she's done the pledge of 10 people. She's pledged to help 10, train 10.
Okay.
My personal goal is to train 500 NPs, and I'm currently at number 382.
Oh, wow.
Okay? But she's made a pledge to train 10. You guys are going to be 2 of the 10. Okay? Show up at meetings with her, and show up at meetings with your card. Make yourself some cards and resume. Okay? At your local NP meeting. All right?
Thank you.
When can you start this local NP meeting? Now.
Okay.
Because on some of these places, like the prisons in Huntsville, it will take over 6 months to get all the contracts done. So you want to start now, and you tell them in this semester, I need this clinical, and I will do it in any form you want. But I'd like to do it in 3 weeks, solid, follow you every day. And it's easier for a preceptor to do that. And I'll tell you why. I precept students every day I'm in practice. But after they're there, if they're only there once a week, I spend the next week trying to orient them again and again. But if they're there full time, they understand my clinic, my flow, my nurses. And then what happens is I can, after a while, trust them and say, you go get the history, go get the physical, and tell me what your diagnosis is. And I'm going to go see 2 patients, you see that third, and we're going to talk here in a few minutes. Okay? So they actually help you out. Okay? All right. Monica Target. Target?
Yeah, it's Target, like the store.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I just had dental surgery a couple of days ago, so I can't talk very well yet. But I live in Austin, and I work at Dell Children's. I'm one of the nursing supervisors for our neurology unit. And before that, I lived in Pennsylvania, and I was working in adult med-surg, orthopedics, and trauma.
Okay. So Monica, you can set up Madeline's, Williams, and yours, Pete's. Okay?
Okay.
You 3 Austinites can go ahead and work as a team. All right? I'm going to give you guys time to, at the end, exchange emails. You got to figure out how to stay in touch and work as a team to get this done. It will make your life so much easier. Okay? Because if you're all going to do pediatrics in the same semester, use the same preceptor and do 3 weeks, 3 weeks, and 3 weeks. Does that make sense? So you get one good preceptor, Monica, and they'll do it. All right? Any of you guys speak Spanish? Okay. Take the courses. All right. So William, what's your last name?
It's Deweese. It's spelled Dewease.
Okay.
So hello, everyone. My name is William Deweese. I'm from Austin, Texas. I've been a nurse for about 5 years. I went to the University of Texas Health Science Center in San Antonio, which is where I met Brianna, and we graduated from the accelerated program there. My first about 15 months of my career, I spent it in the ICU, and I've been in the emergency department for the last 4 years.
Okay. So, William, you could set up to where people could do 40 hours in the ER with one of the docs. So everybody, the Austin crowd, could all get their suturing experience. And that is part of what you can do in your PC1, because it's right after your diagnostics. And you've been taught suturing, so that is one of your options. And your PC1 course is to get some of that, okay?
Not a problem.
William will be your touch point for that. Sounds fair? Does that sound fair for you, William?
Oh, it does. I'm sorry. Yes.
Okay. All right. This is how it's done, folks. Jessica Nieves.
It's Jessica Neves.
Okay.
I'm Jessica Neves. I've been a nurse for about 4 years. I did 2 years in North Carolina on med-surg, and now I'm at Trinity Mother Frances here in Tyler in the cath lab. And I live here in Tyler.
Okay. So you've already heard what I've said about Dr. Ballard and Dr. Matsky?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And the thing is, Dr. Ballard and Dr. Matsky are paid to be more in the clinical area. And so instead of like full-time faculty that do 1 day a week, they do 4 days a week. And they do a little longer days. And then they teach for us part-time. So you guys, you need to get with Elaine Ballard and figure out when she's got time and arrange your courses accordingly. Okay? But just talk to Christina so you don't get bit. All right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Emma Pruitt.
Hello, my name is Emma Pruitt. I live in Nacogdoches. I also was LPN to RN. I did both of those programs in Chicago. And I moved here almost 4 years ago, and I've been in the emergency room for the last 3 years.
Okay. So you're there with Jessica Brown in Nacogdoches.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I tell you, one of the things you can do is on the chat. Maybe that's the easiest way to do it. Why don't you go on the chat and put down your name, your city, and your email address and phone numbers, okay?
Mm-hmm.
If you want to do that, so that way Emma can contact with Jessica, because you're both in Nacogdoches?
Yes.
Okay. So why don't you guys blow up the chat and put your information down there. You just click on chat, and then you put down, here's my information, but you need to put down how to get a hold of you. Put down your cell phones and emails, okay? There you go. All right, so you're working in, you said ER?
Yeah, for the last 3 years, I've been in the ER at Memorial, Nacogdoches Memorial.
Okay. And at one of the Memorial clinics, we've got one of our grads.
Yeah, is it Michelle? It's Michelle Key.
Yes.
And there's also 2 more people that I work with now that are about to graduate from your program.
Okay. All right. So what you're going to do is you're going to find out from them who they used as their preceptors. And then you're going to communicate that list to Jessica Brown, okay?
Sure.
All right. You guys are going to be best buds, meet for lunch, and figure it out. Because then you wouldn't have to stress out over finding preceptors. All right? Because anybody that's been out, they have to be out for 1 year before they're able to precept. And that's so they can get their feet on the ground
Yeah.
That is a rule that is non-negotiable because it's one of the rules for our accreditation.
Yeah.
Our
Is it-
accreditation is what allows you to sit for your boards when you get done.
Are you able to go with physicians as well, or is it just nurse practitioners?
You're allowed to do physicians, PAs, midwives, women's health nurse practitioners, pediatric nurse practitioners. Here's the rule. Half your time must be with a nurse practitioner because it's a different role.
Yeah.
Okay? So, Emma, why don't you get together and you guys this week get together and figure out your strategy for who you're going to target for what class and work together on it, all right?
Okay.
I
Okay.
actually work in Lufkin in the ICU, so what we can't find here in Nacogdoches, I can probably find for us in Lufkin.
Yeah, I do have one doctor who has already agreed to do precepting too. He does peds, women's health, and internal medicine all in his office.
Okay. Okay. Now, Charmaine Sundberg.
Yes, that's it. Hi, everyone. Hi, Dr. Roberts. I'm Charmaine Sundberg. I live in McKinney, Texas, which is just about 20 miles north of Dallas. I work in the ED, but I travel about an hour to get there. I like the rural setting, so I'm in Greenville at Hunt Memorial Medical Center. And I love it in the ED. And if you other folks, Jenny and Sarah in Dallas, need to be hooked up with preceptors, I've already started my journey and I have a ton. And especially that hospital is on your list. And so we have a clinical area, a little minor care area in our ED where we do suturing and all sorts of stuff. And all of our nurse practitioners and PAs that work there mentor and do preceptorship. So if anyone needs to be hooked up, come find me and I'll help you. I've been a nurse about 3 years and I absolutely love it. And I can't wait to start this journey.
Okay. Charmaine, that is very generous of you. What I'd like you guys to do is figure out where you could maybe meet or Skype, and you need to have a coordinated effort from whomever's in your group, all right? So that way you can go and not bombard the preceptors, and as you do, you can just say, I have 2 students that are with me and we are working as a team. And you just say, we're looking for adult during this time. And while a lot of people will tell you, Charmaine, I will do it, what you need them to do is say, they have to sign a contract on this day to this day, I'm going to precept you. All right? You get it in your calendar, you get it approved, and you can have that approved way in advance of the course. All right? Then all you got to do is get to the course. There's nothing that's going to stop you from doing that. And then when you get to the course, you don't have this scattering of trying to get preceptors. That being said, they might change their job in the interim. They might change their change the clinic, change the hours. So I've had students show up at the wrong time, the wrong clinic, because the clinic moved. They didn't think to tell the student. So the student just has to, when it gets closer to that, if you do this out, you're smart, Charmaine, to do this so far out. But if you do that, be sure in 1 month out, 2 weeks out, 1 week out, talk to the preceptor, because that way, if you do it so far out, you will not have a clinic move on you and you don't know where they move to, okay? Fortunately, you live in the Google age and you can Google and find out where does this clinic go to. But my student was kind of lost for a while and I said, Google it. And they Googled it and showed up to the clinic. But
yeah, I also have to say, like, the ED doctors are great too. And you get to know them because you work right alongside them, unlike being on a floor. And some of the doctors actually have their own practices that have nurse practitioners in. So I might already have a job after I graduate too.
Okay.
They're very helpful, and they've said that if there's any other students that need help, just to ask. So.
Okay. Show up at their clinic, talk to their nurse practitioners, and if they do, Share it. So you guys that are in the same neck of the woods, it's worth your time to meet once a month and to work on your clinicals together and just have some camaraderie, because there's nothing like human interaction on an online program. Otherwise, you feel like you're in an isolated tower, and that's just not ever good for learning. That's not how we roll here at UT Tyler. Okay? All right. Amanda Miller.
Hi, my name is Amanda Miller. Sorry about the picture earlier at the start of the chat.
No, that's okay. Can you turn up your mic, Amanda?
Is that better?
Yes.
Texas. I have been a labor and delivery nurse for the past 7 years and am excited to take the journey.
There, let's try that again. You've been a delivery nurse?
A labor and delivery nurse, yes ma'am, for 6 years.
Okay. Where do you live?
League City.
League City. That is down by Houston, right?
Yes, it's about 45 minutes from downtown Houston and 45 minutes from Galveston.
Okay, you keep fading on the volume. 45 minutes from Houston and 45 minutes from where?
Galveston.
Galveston. Okay, so you could work with the Conroe person if she needs it in order to get labor and delivery. If she needs women's health, you could work with her, okay? And that would be Melissa Meha, okay? You guys might have to work together for L&D, or women's health rather, okay? All right. And if you need to, you're going to need some help to figure out how to get your family practice hours and your internal medicine. So we've got some people from Beaumont that you might end up having to work with. And it's up to you guys to decide if you want to offer a spare bedroom to one of your classmates. But, you know, if that's what it takes to get your hours, we've had that before with our other students that they said, hey, we got a spare bedroom. I think it was really funny. One student offered it. She had a spare bedroom. She also had 6 children. So the other person went, there's a spare bedroom, but there's popping kids everywhere. It was kind of cute. She got used to it, and they're good friends. But anyhow, you'll get to know your classmates. Okay, so, all right. Savannah Hortz.
Savannah Rhodes.
Say that again.
Yeah, don't get used to that last name. I'm actually Rhodes, but I'm getting married on Saturday, so it'll be a different name next time.
Okay, what's your name going to be?
Vinson, Vinson.
Okay. Who are you marrying? Is that Bo Vinson?
It is not. It's Brock Vinson.
Okay. I was going to say that is too funny if I knew.
Well, I actually live in the big town of Quinlan, Texas, but I'm close to Greenville, the Hunt Regional Hospital. I've been a nurse for 4 years, considering my LVN experience as well. My background's in med-surg and currently in the neuro ICU at Baylor in Dallas.
Okay. So you're going to be working with Charmaine?
More than likely.
And her gang? Okay. All right. Jessica, we've heard from you. And so Juliana, Devon, Jessica, have I gotten everybody, you guys? Okay, Monica Target, we've heard from you. Okay, what happens is people come in and out, and okay, we have one more. A Rappold. No, we haven't heard from Amy.
I just came.
Okay, Amy, what is your last name?
I'm Amy Starr, but I have been in the program a year already, but I was just listening.
Okay, not a problem, Amy. Go ahead and present what kind of nurse you are and where you're at, because we're working on ways to build community and help each other find preceptors.
Okay, well, I'm a med-surg nurse. I work surgical ortho at Memorial Hermann in the Woodlands, and I've been in the program for a year, and I guess that's about it.
You need to turn up your mic a little, Amy.
I'm not sure how to do that on this computer.
Okay, then get closer to it if you can. Okay, so I'm looking for my Conroe.
Do you still want me to talk to you here?
Yes, I do, Amy. Who's in Conroe?
Oh, I'm in Tomball, Texas. I'm close to Houston, and I work at Memorial Hermann in the Woodlands, and I'm a surgical ortho nurse.
Okay. All right. Well, what we're trying to do is connect people that are in the same area so you can help each other find preceptors. So let me consult with my notes real quick, because I have got Melissa Mejia and Conroe. What I need you, Amy Starr, to do is put in the chat your name, your email address, and your cell phone.
Okay.
Okay? Because Melissa Mejia is in Conroe, and you're going to work together. You're both in that area. I know Tomball is to the west of Houston, but maybe you guys can work together to find preceptors, because Houston is a hard place to find them.
Yes.
All right? Angelina Graham.
Good afternoon.
Okay. Introduce yourself, where you're from, what kind of nurse you are.
I'm Angela Graham. Sorry I'm late. I got lost. I actually ended up in another Zoom meeting. I live in Tyler. I work at Christus on a med-surg floor. Moved here 3 years ago from Alaska. So I will be here at least until I finish this program.
Okay. All right. So Angela Graham, you're going to work, go ahead and put your name, email, and phone number in the chat.
Okay.
And then you need to say Tyler, and you need to copy down the information from the other students in Tyler, Angela.
Okay.
Okay. Here's a few of them I'm going to tell you. Sarah Tadis. She's in Dallas. She can help you with peds. We're helping each other get connected. This is all about building our community. Amber Dennison is in Tyler.
Okay.
So you need to copy Amber Dennison's information. Jessica Nueves is in Tyler. And who else is in Tyler? Will y'all speak up? I'm trying to find you quick in my notes. Sandra Kirkpatrick.
Yes.
So I'm from Tyler as well.
Me too.
All right. So you guys need to find a little chat, a place where you can chat or Skype, and set up a monthly Skype and help each other find preceptors. And what we said, Angela, is you only need 120 hours. That's 3 weeks full time. So it's possible for 3 students to share a preceptor all in one semester, and you can work together as a team to get it set up. Because you only need 4 preceptors. So we're going to work together and make it good for everyone.
Sounds good.
Okay, Monica Target. I got Monica Target. A. Rappold, I don't have you on my list, I don't think. So let's hear from A. Rappold.
She just said in the chat that she could hear you, but she's not able to make, or he, not able to make the audio work.
Okay, A. Rappold, go ahead and in the chat, tell us where you're from and give us your contact information and what kind of nurse you're working as. And tell us what's your name besides A. I had one of my students that just graduated, and his was marinebuddy.com. And never changed it. So everybody called him Marine Buddy. So I really want you guys to know each other's names. All right. Okay. So I think we've done all of the introductions. Is there anybody I've missed? Do you all have information of 2 people you're going to contact? All right. Now, who's a Facebook guru? Who loves Facebook or has a teenager that can set up a chat room for this group? You can raise your hand. Who's got a kid?
I'll do it.
Okay, Charmaine. All right, Charmaine is going to set up a site, and we're going to give you a few minutes. If you can, then you need to, it takes about 2 minutes to do the site, Charmaine, and I'll review anything with you that I'm about to do. I'm going to let you go set up that site, and then we're going to let everybody ask to be invited into it. Okay? So
I'll post the name in this chat of the group, and you can come friend it.
Okay, good. Can you go ahead and post the name of it?
Yeah,
How about Fall 17, UT Tyler, FNP class?
Perfect. I'll set it up right now.
All right. All right. So you guys will do the chat, and that way you're going to be able to connect that way. Okay, Amaretta Rappold, she lives in Gilmer, Texas. Where is that? Does anybody know where Gilmer is?
It's close to Longview, I believe.
Yeah, it's right down the road from me.
Yeah, it's like
out
like
in the
30.
So
It's like 30 or 45
Gilmer, you're
minutes
going
away
to
from me.
want Michael Brandon. You want to work with Michael Brandon. And they're from New York, and they work 2 years med-surg. I want to see how she says qua. I currently travel as a PEDS ER PRN. So she would be able to find some pediatricians that she respects. 4 years RN experience, and most of my experience is level 1 trauma. Gilmer is 45 miles north of Tyler. Okay, thank you for telling me where Gilmer is. All right, so there's a lot. I want to tell you that we have a Randy in Lindell, Texas, and he's at the family practice in Lindell, Texas. And I know that that is north of Tyler, and I honestly don't know how far Gilmer is from Lindell, but he's in Lindell family practice. So Amaraldo, he's been out for a year. He's a nurse practitioner. He's one of our grads. It's who you need to connect with. Okay?
What was his name again?
Randy, oh, for the love of Pete. He was at family practice of Lindell. He got a job. I wrote a reference letter. Excellent, excellent NP. But if you're looking Lindell, he does family practice. So you guys can You want 200 hours with them. Okay? So that would set up your internship. Boom. All right? Or you, because it's family practice, you might end up asking him, is there another NP in that setting that you could use? So you guys, I'm going to need you, when you get to my course at the end, I'm going to need you to tell me where you work, because I do this for everybody, okay? So tell me where you work, and I promise I'll try to remember your last name, but I can remember the first names better than the last, okay? But I do know it's family practice in Lindell, so look up there and see what you can find. Okay, now I want to answer any course questions you all have. Or do you want me just to talk in general?
I have a question.
Yes, Sandra.
You may not know the answer to this yet, but they have not adopted a book yet for advanced pathophys, and it starts on Monday. I'm not a last minute person, and it's kind of freaking me out that I'm not going to be able to have the book when the program starts.
I emailed the professor, and well, actually I emailed Christina Chapman, and she emailed the professor, and I got it.
I've emailed them both as well and got nothing.
Okay, Kelly, share what you know.
I'll copy and paste it, but I've gotten that information. It's the same as last year, and I am quickly trying to find the name of it. Let me make this.
It's in the syllabus.
Is the syllabus posted?
No.
Yeah.
Well, the one from last year is, and I just looked up that one and got that book, hoping they hadn't changed.
Okay, I saw that the one from last year was posted. I just didn't.
I'll
There's
post all
one
the
from this year yet.
chat area.
I had emailed Ms. Starks, and I actually have the new syllabus for this fall. When we get the Facebook group going, I can post the link in the Facebook group if y'all want me to do that.
Yes.
Okay,
You're welcome.
What I need you to do, Jordan, is put the ISBN in the chat, okay?
Yes,
because
ma'am.
this will be posted and you guys can look at the Zoom group chat, okay? I do want to set a couple of rules because I am going to post this. Do not give your phone number out from this group to anybody but this group. There's always weird divorces and stuff. We're going to just protect each other. And this is your group. Protect it, okay? And don't give this information out. Is it okay that I go ahead and post this? Because I'd like to post it, and then you guys could look at it again and look at your group Zoom. So when you're trying to do your preceptors, you're going to get a group, okay? But the Facebook will help you the most. All right? And if you're not a Facebook person, get your kids to sign in for you. I'll never forget at Penning, I had one little kid tell me, I did all those postings for my mother. I said, well, I'm glad because she fed you, diapered you, and is putting you through college. So you should have posted all that. She would do all the assignments but couldn't get anything to post. So her kids would post everything for her, you know, and make sure that it's uploaded correctly. And so however you want to do it, it's a family affair. Your family's having to, you know, the more they get involved, the more they realize how much work there is. But it was a student that felt challenged with posting. And so her kids would always post all of her assignments for her when she got them done. She sent them to her kids. They posted. So it worked. So let them help you. Can it be posted to MSN Possible? Because I don't do Facebook. And Amber, okay, well, it can be, but you guys are doing Amber. They're setting up a Facebook page that's going to help each other find preceptors. So now's your time to expand. I joined that group. You can delete, not look at anything else on Facebook, but you can do that. And I don't do Facebook, but I follow my niece. So I follow her on Facebook and I get off because I don't want to hear everybody's opinion on politics. So I just follow my one niece that I want to follow, and that's it. Okay, how many visits to campus will be made in the first semester? You can expect 1 visit to campus per semester. But in the first semester, it's all online, and you don't often, because you're taking the core courses, you don't often come to campus anytime.
Okay.
But you can plan on 1 visit to campus generally, and an assessment, there's 2. All right? We're going to let you know well in advance on the Mission Possible when you will have to visit and plan to be on campus, because they're mandatory dates. Is anybody taking assessment this coming semester? Advanced Health Assessment.
I am.
Okay. Amanda, let me tell you the dates you will need to be on campus. October the 9th. November the 28th. And this is somewhere between 7A to 7P. Amanda, do you live here in Tyler?
Texarkana.
Okay. So I'd like to tell you, until you know otherwise, there's the Staybridge Hotel. And they offer the students a discount. And it's right on the corner of the campus. And just tell them you're a UT Tyler student, and you show them your ID when you check in. Because we're scheduling it 7A to 7P, so many students come the night before. And you're going to find out when you get with the group that a lot of them stay at that Staybridge. So they have a little bit of fun there. So you meet the gang and, yak and yak about the professors, and then figure out, you do that for a bit and you realize that doesn't really help you. And then you start talking about how can we set up preceptors for each other. Use your time wisely with other students, because there's one other thing that students do is they form study groups. So I'd like to talk to you about study groups, and then I'm going to read through my chat and answer questions. Here's what I suggest on study groups, because if you get in a study group, as I said in my orientation video, you're going to be much more productive, because when you have to explain something to someone, you learn it better. All right? So we're going to say that Madeline is going to have a study group with Kelly Oliveira. And so Madeline and Kelly are going to set up a Skype or a Zoom, which is both free. And they're going to say, we are going to meet on such and such night at 9 o'clock till 10:30. And we are going to talk about hypertension guidelines for pediatric, adult, and we're going to present 1 case study to each other. So Madeline's going to present that to Kelly. They're in the same course. And that same course is dyslipidemia guidelines. Kelly says, I'm going to present dyslipidemia guidelines in that same hour. So they're going to get it down to a Word document or a PowerPoint, and they're going to type it up and present it. And you can share your screen. To share your screen on Zoom, click on your bottom bar. See that green thing that says share screen? Hit share screen and present. Okay? Time yourself. You have 15 minutes to present any one topic. If you can't pare it down to 15 minutes, you got it too complicated for anybody to remember. All right? It doesn't matter who you have in your Zoom, but only have people that stay in your Zoom that present something. I say that because you all are busy and you're adult learners. So you don't have time to drag somebody that's never prepared. I'm just telling it like it is. And so you come and you're prepared, and then you will share that email, your presentation, email it to the others. Because you're going to have an average of 300 to 400 pages per exam per course. That's a lot of pages, guys. help each other out to decipher it down and say that you're going to pick the top ones. But more than anybody, what I want you to do is, well, what I would do if I was you, I'd have Sandra Kirkpatrick in my class, in my little Zoom session, because she is the one that's told me how long she's been a nurse, and she can pick out the most important things right away. And she will have, here's the outline that we've got to present on out of these chapters, okay? And she forms the outline. You guys sign up and you make yourself a wiki, W-I-K-I, and you can get that free on the internet. And what a wiki is simply a sign-up list that you can freeze and unfreeze. You click on unfreeze, you put your name in it, then you click on freeze. It's like a Word document that you can keep editing, but you can put it on one site, share that wiki, and then anybody can sign up for any topic. Or she can just, you know, somebody can just be the group leader that assigns what topics they've got to study for what test. You meet once a week online and you talk about the topic. Okay? If you do that, you have a 25% more chance of retaining information than if you do not. Okay? Because what it will do is it will force you to stay up when you're as tired as Michael Brandon is right now. And he will stay up because he's not going to let his team down, because he's just not that type of man. See? Because you know how I know that? Because I'm talking to nurses. And you guys won't let somebody down, not in general. But, you know, Michael and his group will understand if somebody's baby was in the hospital, and they're going to help, they're going to carry on that test. But they're not going to carry him forever, but they're going to help him out. Because you know what? When we rise better together. There's over 150,000 nurse practitioners today. I was in the first class 33 years ago at UT Arlington. They didn't know what to do with us. We had one textbook for the whole curriculum. And now look at us. We've got specialties and various practices, and we're doing good. But that's how you do. You present a topic in your study group, because it's going to help you decipher it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put on our orientation the study grid for FNP management of courses. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick out of my Dropbox. We're doing pretty good on time. Dropbox. I got too many things open right now. Okay, shutting these down real quick. I'll put the study grid for FNP management courses, and it basically breaks down into the areas. Okay, let me share my screen. Share screen. Okay. Okay, do you guys see a study grid? I don't know which screen. Do you see it?
I see the document.
Okay, I'm going to see if I can drag. Okay, now do you see it?
Yes.
Okay, this is the grid that I'm going to post. But see, it's disease process, key symptoms, diagnostics, differentials, treatment plans, and when to refer. that's what you need to know from your clinical courses. Okay, now I want to show you one that's done. I got a study grid. Okay, just a minute.
Where will those be posted?
I'm going to put that on the Mission Possible.
Perfect.
Okay, now this is what a student presented to her other friends. Now this was a student that allowed me to share this because she just wasn't putting her mind around diabetes. Okay, so I said, I only want a 2-page, she gave me a 3, and she was in my clinic. And I said, all right, I want right now that you go ahead and you put together a study grid and you talk to me tomorrow about your diabetes, because they had me in their internship. By now they should know diabetes. And she wanted me to tell her everything I knew about diabetes. And I said, well, you need to do your studying first. So she put this together and she allowed me to share it with others. And so here's the diabetes, here's the things you're gonna do. And then I said, okay, here's what you really wanna know. But I wanted her to really hone in on what is she going to do. And she put a lot of money, a lot of effort into this second page, because she was ordering a lot of things that were over 100, you know, like if you go for a lot of the new meds in diabetes, they all start at 120 to 240 a month. So I wanted her to realize what she's doing to these people, because she was giving them about $600 a month on medicine charges. And then she couldn't remember her insulin, what was short, fast. So she put this down. And then she said, okay, here's what I'm going to do. And I told her about this, how we're going to split it apart, how I'm going to front load, and where I'm going to put 2/3 of my NPH insulin. I'm going to have 2/3 in the morning, 1/3 at night, unless they're like a lot of Hispanic families that eat their biggest meal at night. Then you have 2/3 at night because it's the biggest meal. So I was talking to her and I said, bring it to clinic tomorrow and I'm going to talk to you about it. And I totally rearranged certain things and talked to her about it. But this is the type of thing that you do if you're ready, if you get to internship, which is my courses, and you don't know where to start on diabetes. I'm not gonna, for me to tell you everything I know, is one, I still have to see 3 to 4 patients an hour to keep a job. So I don't have time to just stop and teach you for an hour everything I know on diabetes. Does that make sense? So I said, you're an adult learner. You've had this already in your PC3 course. So you need to do a study grid. She did the study grid. She came ready to talk the next day. And I said, okay, because I'm trying to get her, if I just told her everything, how am I training her to critically think? I'm not. I'm spoon feeding her, and that won't help her retain anything. So I'm helping her to critically think. And then I told her, now present it to your study group. And that's when I realized she doesn't have one. And that's why she was having such a hard time and having to repeat courses, because she had nobody to help her out and figure out what's the essentials that I need to do. Okay? So this is one of the ones that she did. But this, I'll go ahead and I'll put it up under your orientation. But this is what you're going to need to know. What are your key symptoms, differential diagnosis? And this is what you're going to do for all your clinical courses. Okay? Now I can do stop share. But that's how you guys can present. Okay? You can get Zoom and get up to 25 people in your Zoom for free. All right? us faculty, we purchased the Zoom through the school, and you guys have that Zoom for 25. That's the caveat for y'all. You can't get over 25 people in your Zoom at one time. We can get up to 100. All right? But that's what you got to do. And I would encourage, if you have another student that is geographically close to you, that you meet for a meal once a month. It's going to help you keep going. You need a friend. And there's a lot of people that will just, I keep talking about my niece with my classes because she is the typical 20-something-year-old, and she will go to a restaurant, and I've flown up to North Carolina to see her, and she will pull out her phone, and I will snatch it from her hands and say, okay, I've flown up here. You're going to have a face-to-face conversation with me. She says, I was going to post this on Facebook. I'm like, you do that later. I flew up. You're going to talk to me. And honestly, she values that now. But you need somebody that can encourage you and help you through. Meeting once a month will make your life funner. And who doesn't want some fun? Okay, the questions were, what are the dates to be on campus? I'm going to go through these questions on the chat. And the dates to be on campus are only for those taking advanced health assessment. And that's Amanda Neal. And the dates to be on a campus for our advanced health assessment this semester in the fall are October the 9th. You got to be here somewhere between 7A to 7P. Okay? And November 28th. Your dates to be on campus will be given to you on the first day of class. We never do it right away. We don't make you do that because we realize we're dealing with nurses who already have schedules out. Okay? So we're not here to screw up your life. We're here to help you get your next goal. Do we need to wear our white coats for courses with a lab on campus? Absolutely. You need to dress like you're worth $100 an hour, because that's what you're going to be looking like. So you're going to be professional dress, closed-toed shoes. You always have your identification with you. You have a patch that you put on your left chest. And when you come to assessment, you also need to have shorts, and you need to have a sleeveless shirt. Girls, you'll need to have a sports bra on because you're going to be somebody's patient. And we want to give you all the modesty you deserve. But they're going to have to listen to your heart. We don't do breast and genitalia on each other, but you're going to be somebody's patient, and they're going to be thumping your liver and everything else. Filling your thyroid. And I had one student said, I don't like being touched. And I said, you're in the wrong field because your patients are going to touch you. You got to get over that one. And we give you that opportunity in advanced health assessment to get over that. Okay. I'm trying to see any other questions. If I haven't answered your question, please ask it.
Dr. Roberts?
Yes.
I know that you had mentioned that we can do a portion of our clinicals with a MD. Are we also able to do any with a PA?
Yes. You can do up to half.
Okay.
With a combination of any of that. NP, PA, DO, women's health nurse practitioner, you know, any of that. Then you have to do half with something that has nurse practitioner behind it. like pediatric nurse practitioner, women's health nurse practitioner, family nurse practitioner, adult nurse practitioner, half with an NP behind their name. The hours that you are going to have for assessment and didactics count for your nurse practitioner 50% hours, because you're going to be trained by nurse practitioners. And that's just so you can get a difference in the role.
Dr. Roberts,
yes.
The half of the hours, that's half of the total hours. So if I were with a physician doing women's health, I could do the entire block for the women's health as long as half of my total hour.
675 total hours are with them. So Madeline, say for women's health, you're with an MD the entire semester, that's fine.
Okay.
Just don't stay with an MD every semester.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay, any other questions?
I have a question.
Yes,
The
William.
time that we're going to spend in the emergency department suturing, which block does that go toward? Which set of hours?
It's going to probably be done in your pediatric hours, because that's the course that follows right after your diagnostics, where you learn to do it.
Okay.
So that's where it's set at this time.
Okay, thank you.
I want to talk to you a little bit about some specialty hours for a minute. We want to give our students the chance to sell themselves, and we give them the opportunity to learn how to do that as they learn to find preceptors. The second way we train them is we give you up to 60 hours that you can have in a specialty. That specialty is really a live job interview. You're going to find that to find the right practice site, you're going to need to sign up for a job interview that's a working job interview. So Kelly has 2 job offers when she's getting out and she's thinking, I'm not sure which one I want to go with. She will do 60 specialty hours because she has an endocrinologist she's thinking about going with on the job. So she will go and do 30 hours with this endocrinologist and tell that endocrinologist, I'm going to learn from you. You're going to see what I know. And so for 30 hours, let's see if it's a good fit for both Kelly and the endocrinologist. And she does that in her internship when she already knows as much as she can, because Kelly wants to put her best foot forward. Does that make sense? So then Kelly says, I'm going to do 30 hours, and then we're going to talk about a contract. And if you don't like me, and I don't like the way this office runs, we just split up. No harm, no foul. I learned from you. You had some free help. How's that sound? You get to try me before you buy me. I've hired people. I love working interviews because I get to know what their habits are. I get to know if they show up on time, if they're willing to work through lunch, if they're prepared enough that they bring their lunch and they bring a snack in case that they're having to work late. I also know how they treat their nurses. I love working interviews, and you guys are smart to do them. And if you take a job without a working interview, you're probably going to regret it. But then Kelly says, okay, the endocrinologist, pretty good, but I'm not so sure. So I'm going to go to this one internal medicine doc or this family practice clinic and see what I like there. And so she goes to this family practice. She does another 30 hours because you're allowed to have 60 hours of specialty. So for this example, I need to say this is an internal medicine doc, okay, for Kelly. So she goes to internal medicine doc. She does another 30 hours, and she goes, you know, I think I like the internal medicine doc better because I don't have to talk about diabetes all day long, you know? And so I'm going to go with that. I'm going to go internal medicine. She writes a thank you note to the endocrinologist for that opportunity to learn from them. and that she's decided to take another job, but she wanted to thank him for giving her the opportunity of a working interview, because that's what a professional does. And she goes with the internal medicine instead. But at the very end of your program, you're going to be wanting to do working interviews, and that's what your 60 hours of specialty are for, that working interview, because you just don't have time to do a lot of that if you don't get some clinical credit for it. And we want you to do that, because that shows our students to employers, and it shows that they're willing to go the extra mile. So that's why we do it. Does that make sense on the specialty hours? Save them for your internship. All right? Now I'd like to tell you what my students have said pre and post interviews. They all got at least $4,000 more per year, because you go up each year. But they got that simply because they did a working interview. It's in your benefit to do it. You make more money. They see what you're worth. They see what you're willing to do. They're going to know if your kids are calling you all day and trying to ask you 101 questions. They're going to know if you're willing to do things. They're going to know if you show up with enough stuff that you can do a 12-hour shift. And the hardest thing for a new grad to do is be mentally alert for 12 hours without going to texting on their phone or doing anything else. Okay? You'll be exhausted after a 12-hour shift, and you can't do it while you start in school. You'll start off on 8 hours, and you'll be dead by the time you're done, because you're not following a nurse practitioner. You're not following a doctor. You might shadow them one day, but then after that, you're expected to come out of the room and say, here's my diagnosis, here's my differential diagnosis, and here's what I want to do with the patient. Do you agree or disagree? You got to come up with that on every one of your patients. For you to graduate and be hireable, you have to see 2 patients an hour saying that. And we'll get you there, but it takes a while to get there. Any other questions?
I do. Can I ask you a question?
Yes, Amy Starr.
When you say internship, is that practicum 1 and 2?
Yeah, we changed the name to internship.
Oh, okay. All right. So do you have to take practicum 1 and 2 in the same semester, or can you take them 2 different semesters?
You can take them together.
You can only take them together, or can you take them separately too?
You can do either.
Okay, thank you.
Why a lot of people take them together is by that time they've quit working or only work 1 day a week because they realize I can't survive otherwise. And they cut it down, and if you take them together, you can submit several assignments into both courses. Any other questions? Okay, I'm going to go real quick and see if I didn't answer anything else. Okay, you got your patho book, the McCants book. I'd like to tell you one other thing about buying books on Amazon, Barnes & Noble. Our bookstore here at the school will do price matching. And so if you are getting a loan and you want to put your books on the school, on your loan, you can do that and have price matching at the campus bookstore. Okay, Sandra Kirkpatrick. Do you have to be enrolled in the class in order to take hours in that class? Yes. So you have to be in women's health. Okay, Sandra wants to see, can you work full-time and complete the requirements for clinical on your days off and the weekends? No. Impossible. Here's why. Because you're going to need to be in offices, and most offices are closed on the weekends. So you're going to have to find a job that maybe works on the weekends and allows you off during the week. And I had some students that really had to do that and be the sole support. So they worked every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or Monday. Because offices don't want students on a Monday because a Monday's a Monday. You know, and so they don't want you on their craziest day. And then you would do clinicals Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of every week. Okay? And you would work Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And if you have to be financing your family, realize it's not going to give you any days off, because if you are taking 3 courses, which is 9 hours, you need to realize that that is going to take you 42 hours a week just to complete the requirements for those 9 hours. Okay? All right. Okay, do clinicals, preceptor hours have to be done in the clinical setting, or can they be performed in the ER via telehealth? You guys are going to only have 2 years to learn how to diagnose and treat. You do not need to do that through telehealth. You need to be able to see your patients and have follow-up. That's why we don't have people working in urgent care, working in the ER, because you never get the continuity of care. Hey, Monica, you got a lot of camera shake, so try to leave your camera. Your people are getting dizzy, okay? So just letting you know. So you need to have continuity of care. You need to see the patient back time after time after time to see. I put him on Norvasc. Was that adequate? Should I go up? Should I go down? What should I do? Should I add a second drug instead of just a calcium channel blocker? Okay? On your pregnant person. Or you have somebody that comes in, is not pregnant, gets pregnant, and you have to figure out what to take them off of. So you need to see panels of patients where you see them back time and time again. So that's why we don't do urgent care. And that's why, because you only see them once and done, send them back to the primary care provider. You need to be with that primary care provider. Okay, somebody's worried about getting the patho book by Monday. If you are here in Tyler, just come get it at the bookstore. It's there. And they give you price matching. Okay. I like you guys are calling each other peeps already. Pretty cool. I like the fact that Sandra knows that cool is still a cool word. Can you speak a bit how our testing will work in the classes? Yes, I can. You will use ProctorU, and ProctorU is a self-performing testing, a self-evaluated testing thing, and you sign up just like you do for a plane ticket. The earlier you submit to get your registration for the test, the cheaper the price. The closer to the test date, the higher the price. All right, it's basically about $25 per exam to test. And if you book them all on the first week, you can get it down to about $18. If you wait until the day before, it's going to go up to $30 per test. All right? Everybody look at Sarah Tades. They're going to want your background to be as plain Jane as hers. And if you've got a busy background, like Jessica Brown or Angela Andrea Miller, they're going to tell you you need to clear your background. They're going to have you Zoom with a mirror so they can make sure you don't have any cheat sheets tagged all over your computer. Okay? And then they're going to say, all right, are you ready to test? Go to the bathroom, do all that stuff before you sit down to test. Because you cannot move after that time. All right? You
Dr.
cannot, then you, yes?
Do we need an external camera, or will the one on our laptop work? I know other programs and other universities require an outside camera so they can kind of pan the room. Do you know about that?
I know that they ask you to do that, so you probably do. But that's a question to ask right away with ProctorU. I've also gotten around that sometimes by using a mirror, and you can pan with your camera mirror, pan the room. Okay? So ask ProctorU. But you're going to know on the first day of class the times of your test. And you're going to have to take the test in those times. And we don't have the test open for long periods of time because we found that students like to talk to each other and talk about the test. And so those that took it early were at a disadvantage than those that took it late. Okay? So we have a testing window that you've got to get your test done in. And we tell you right off the bat, you cannot be at work because the firewalls at the hospitals tend to prevent you from having ProctorU. They will then allow you to test and just do a mock ProctorU test to make sure all your equipment will work. And if not, do that right away. So if not, then you know, hey, I need to go get something else. And you can get a webcam for 20 bucks. And you go and you get your stuff, and then they will tell you when to start the test. And then you get done, they will tell you to click out of the test, and then you click out of ProctorU.
You can set up to do these in the library at the campus also, right?
Yes, you can. And there's a lot of students that, I had one of the students here in this Zoom that kept freezing and when she was talking, and that's probably her wavelength, that she doesn't have good internet reception at her current location. She would need to go to a local library or come to the school library and take her test there. They will not allow you to take the test in a public place. Like one student wanted to test at an airport. Doesn't happen. Too much chaos in the background, they won't let you do it. They're going to want a background like Sarah Tedeschi has got. Plain Jane, nothing there. Sit down, take your test. It takes about a minute a question. Most of the tests are about an hour to 2 hours in length. And during that time, don't get interrupted. Don't answer the phone. Don't do anything. Do your test. And then click out of it, and you're done. Okay. All right, so somebody said ProctorU allow them, look at the chat about do you need webcams. So all right, so you might end up having to buy a more expensive webcam. I want to tell you the brand that I found that's cheap and good. It's Logitech. Logitech. That's what I'm using now. It's got a speaker and a camera all in one. Because a lot of the new computers don't come with a speaker, especially if you buy a new monitor that are the big ones. They don't always come with a camera. Okay?
I have one other question about testing. Is it open 24 hours? I mean,
No.
like if you're a night person? No. Okay.
No. And the reason is, Sandra, we had too many students talking in that 24-hour period. So anybody that took it earlier was at a disadvantage. And we want it to be fair. And we understand if you need to get out, everybody get on Facebook. I'm always the last one out of any Zoom. I don't have anything else unless you guys have got questions, because you need to look at my orientation video, because that has got everything. Any other questions? Well, if there isn't anything else, I'm going to let you guys go ahead and click out. Get on the Facebook group, talk to your friends. If you want to stay in here and talk to each other, the Austin crowd or the Tyler crowd or the Conroe Houston group, you're welcome to chat and get things going. That's what you need to do to make this work for you, is get with others. If you've already gotten the information you need of your group because of the chat, you're welcome to do that. All of this will be posted on the Mission Possible site, and I'm going to call it Orientation Fall 17 Zoom video. You know, we don't get real creative. I used to do that, but nobody ever knows what you're talking about. I used to have really snappy names. Okay. All right, Rappold, the Tyler group, you're going to have to get in the Facebook and add yourself. There's no, unless you're talking to the other peeps in the Tyler group, there's nobody to add you to the Tyler group. This is a self-directed thing. So, Rappold, I'm going to tell you who's in Tyler real quick. You've got that question. Sandra Kirkpatrick is in Tyler. So, Rappold, you can get with Sandra Kirkpatrick. And she will get you connected with the Tyler peeps.
Dr. Roberts?
Yes.
How many people are starting in this FNP track?
You're looking at them.
It's about 26, 27?
Mm-hmm.
About right, okay.
It ends up, you know, we end up graduating 100 a year. But we have admissions 2 times a year. So okay. All right, Brandon has already got things going on the Facebook page. If we don't have anything else, you can sign out, and I'll be the last one here. This will not be a private chat. If you want to talk to me privately, you'll need to call me on the phone or something else, because I'm gonna post this. Well, Kelly, you get the last one out. Any other questions? All right, the bottom right, there you go.